I'm Bonita Ties with the West Chester Chronicle. The Pennsylvania municipal elections are up November 2nd. The last day to register before this election was on the 18th, and the deadline to order mail-in ballots is on the 25th. Speaking of the election, a rally for Josh Shapiro's candidacy for governor was held at the old courthouse this past Sunday. County Commissioner Marian Moskowitz and Governor Tom Wolf attended the event and voiced their support of the Attorney General, who had announced his candidacy 3 days prior to the event.
Local governments make a difference. School boards make a difference. These elections are really, really important on their own. We have got to take this seriously. You know what the biggest enemy we have right now is? It's not the Republican Party. That's the pretty big enemy. It's ourselves. We need to look in the mirror, because what happens in these elections is we do not turn out. And if that happens this time, shame on us, because we will have basically abdicated our responsibilities as citizens. If you want Josh Shapiro to be our next governor, and I do, if you want the values that we espouse to be held as high as they ought to be held, then we have to make sure that we send the right signal with this election. This is a bridge to getting him into office.
Folks, we are here at a critical moment right now, and we've all got a responsibility to do our part to move the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania forward. We have some serious challenges, but boy, oh boy, do we have some great opportunities. Consider this: under Governor Wolf's leadership, 1.2 million Pennsylvanians more today have access to health care than they did 7 years ago, right? But we're not satisfied with that. We're certainly not satisfied with that. We have to build on that progress and make sure that we not only have outstanding physical health care available for all Pennsylvanians, but mental health care as well, because what goes on in your mind is just as important as what goes on in your body.
After the rally, protesters against the expansion of the Mariner East pipeline called on Governor Wolf to remove the permits for that project. On Monday, there was a forum hosted and moderated by the League of Women Voters at the Borough Building for all three candidates for the mayor of West Chester. And that's Lillian DeBaptiste, Eric Lorgas, and Beth Ann Rossica. Attendees were able to submit written questions for the candidates prior to the forum. The candidate discussed many topics of concern for the residents, including, but not limited to, the upcoming budget, relationships with the borough and West Chester University, equity, environmental justice, upkeep of the parks, rail service, crime, affordable housing, and communications between the borough employees and the residents. After the forum, our editor, Kyle Hudson, interviewed Susan Carty, president of the League of Women Voters, about the event.
The League of Women Voters is an organization that is 101 years old, actually, and it's designed to help all candidates and all voters, not just women anymore, but help them find sources of educating themselves on all the issues in any election, and also to make sure that people are up and ready to vote, registered, and understand the issues. This was called a forum as opposed to a debate, in the sense that the candidates are asked questions from the audience, and each candidate answers the same question. And rather than debate each other on their positions, they have the complete freedom to express themselves with their opinion and their position, and are not challenged.
You can see the forum in its entirety on our Facebook and YouTube pages. On Tuesday at the Borough Council Work Session, council members discussed the approval of the preliminary 2022 budget. As the borough currently lacks the revenue to complete most tasks listed by the various departments, the council tasked the departments to prioritize their projects and pick the ones that were most urgent. Chief Moorhead of the WCPD prioritized the upfitting of police vehicles, implementation of mobile video recorders, and AED purchases. The Parks and Rec Department prioritized the installation of street light nodes and sidewalk replacements. Public Works emphasized the need for a master plan detailing the needs for all parks, but made special mention of Hoops Park as West Chester's largest and most frequented park and its need for upgrades. For the Information Technology Department, they highlighted the need for more servers, network switches, and new computers for various departments. Mayor Norley made a note of the low priority for the implementation of a hybrid Borough Council voting session. He mentioned how, during the height of the pandemic, council meetings had a high number of turnout from residents. Chief Information Officer William Mann then proposed the possibility of combining that project with other budget line items. The next item on the agenda was the approval of a vaccine mandate of all borough employees. This began with a statement from Council President Mike Galey to lead by example. Afterward, there were comments made by residents who had concerns about the vaccine and were against a mandate.
Main point is allowing our local government, state and federal as well, to make personal medical decisions for a whole population. If our local or any government can make this decision, what stops more? This is not conspiracy theory. Everything has been called such has become our lives. 14 days became 20 months and going on. Absolutely no mandates has become loss of jobs, livelihoods, businesses, life. These vaccines were so good. Why such coercion? One cannot be anywhere without this being a forced issue. Why were people bribed with ice cream, French fries, lottery tickets, college tuitions, etc., and now threatened with loss of job and life's activities? Also, if this vaccine was so effective, why are we at boosters 6 months later, or a change of terms, such as J&J should have been 2 jabs, not 1? What did they not know then, and what don't they know now?
There are large swaths of our population, namely children, who have no choice. I have a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old, and neither one of them can get vaccinated for this. And both of them are subject to a greater risk than myself or my wife by those of you in this room who decide not to get vaccinated.
By now, you've been given notice by our legal counsel as to the clear opposition we have to the vaccine mandate. For us, it's not about being for the vaccine or being against the vaccine. It's about changing the work condition and the process that goes along with doing so. On September 21st of 2021, we sat with you and you asked us about the mandate. At that time, you agreed that you needed to enter a bargain in an attempt to implement the mandate. And you told us that you would be in touch at a later date. On October 12th, last Tuesday, Mr. Metrics introduced a premise of the mandate to subcommittee and again agreed that we would have to bargain. As of this date, almost a month later, Borough has not communicated in any fashion with its employees' unions. We're concerned that this unilateral attempt to implement change of working conditions is a clear violation of the collective bargaining rules. Another concern we have is the current path that you are on will lead to distrust, lowering of morale, divisiveness among your labor unions. We entered into a contract with you. We've upheld our end of the deal. We need you to do the same thing. Now, we think this can happen. We need you to be transparent and provide the proposal and to follow the collective bargaining agreement. In order to do that, we would like you to table this vote or vote down the implementation of this change in working conditions.
A surgeon of the police department noted that the police were already 90% vaccinated, and the mandate will alienate the remaining police officers and could potentially cause a financial loss to the borough. There were also concerns about the long-term effects and whether or not the borough could potentially lose employees who refuse to vaccinate.
I mean, with these mandates, though, there's been a lot of pushback. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard about Southwest, how their employees effectively pushed back and won. And I believe Southwest lost $50 million within the day. I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything like that, but really, I'm here to speak on behalf of a lot of people I work with, and a lot of people that that work in public works do not wish to get the vaccine. And my thing is, are you willing to lose a good chunk of the workforce just to implement, just to signal to the community, I guess you're all aboard for the vaccine, but I mean, shouldn't that be our right? Shouldn't that be our right to decide whether we should get it or not your guys's? And is that a bit of an overreach of your power?
Done?
Yes.
Yes, I am prepared to lose employees if they don't want to get vaccinated. No, I don't believe it's an overreach of our power.
The discussion about the potential vaccine mandate continued at Wednesday's Borough Council voting session. In other business, Councilman Flynn discussed the effects of West Chester University's homecoming event on the cleanliness of the town. After homecoming, it was reported that the mess that was left in the business district was enough to warrant complaints from businesses and residents alike. Councilman Flynn proposed working with the university and perhaps having their Greek life programs adopt streets for major events such as homecoming, the eve before Black Friday, and St. Patrick's Day. Mayor Norley responded that any assistance from West Chester students should be supplementary to what the borough already has in place, such as having public works vehicles used specifically for those high-traffic days. At Wednesday's Borough Council voting session, there was a continuation of the discussions from the night before, with most items being on the consent agenda. More time was given for residents, the mayor, and council members to voice their opinions on the proposed vaccine mandate. One public commenter asked the council if it were possible to distribute literature to all the departments about the vaccine to provide more information, answer some of their questions, and ease their concerns about the vaccines. Ultimately, it was passed unanimously. The borough manager will work with departments to implement this new mandate by December. After the discussion, the consent agenda was approved by all members of council. Included in that agenda was the acceptance of the preliminary 2022 budget, a new curbside composting service with Wastewell, and a new employee engagement program for the police department. The full consent agenda can be found on West Chester's website, www.west-chester.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please join us next time as we resume our coverage and live streams of local government meetings. Now, if you'd like to see us cover more meetings, events, or provide more information about things going on around town, please consider sponsoring our show via Patreon. Our goal is to make community-funded news and not have to rely on ads. And we will produce as much as we can with the budget you give us. So please like and share us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. It's the easiest way to support us and help us bring you the news. Finally, if you have a news tip, an event you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hi, you can reach us via email at westchesterchronicle@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our program is produced by Crimson Planet Media and distributed by KeystoneDigital.tv. Our music is by Doug Keller. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you soon. Until then, I'm Bonita with the West Chester Chronicle.